Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to get started now. And like I said before, feel free to interject if you have any questions or you want me to go over certain parts again. Happy to answer that. I'd like to welcome everyone who's joined in. My name is Amer Latif. I'm the VP of Sales at PresentPal. Today's topic is about rehearsing presentations with PresentPal. So if you've not seen the app before, there's a great opportunity to get a sort of a quick look at it, what it's for, what it's used for, and the many environments where you can apply it. Um, but I thought what would be useful for everyone, and I've done that at the other product demonstrations too, is to tell you a little bit about our journey, how we got here. And essentially started off with our founder, Chris, who, when going to university, was asked to deliver presentations as part of his course. Now, Chris was diagnosed with dyslexia at the age of 13. So this was a source of anxiety because the only solution he had in hand was maybe using flashcards, which wasn't ideal because at times he would find it very difficult to read his own notes. So Chris went to the disability support department and found out that the options available were almost limited to none or very not inclusive. And I'll elaborate on that. Essentially, they were said to him, okay, we do not have any tools, but you can skip the presentation altogether, which is not an ideal, appropriate, or inclusive solution. So this led to a mission for Chris in the sense of how big is this problem? Surely other students must feel this too, or other people have this, because presentation or communication skills must be a problem for others too. So he wanted to investigate this. And what he found out was that it is a universal problem. Some of the learning disabilities I've put down here are ones where the presentation or communication challenges are enhanced in some cases, but presentation and communication universally is a challenge for everyone. And what it does is it's a lot to do with building your confidence, possibly even memory recall. And there are other visual stresses too. You're looking at an audience that you may or may not be familiar with, or they may be peers, maybe in some cases administrators or managers. So a lot of environments which add to the stress and anxiety. The aspect with regards to linear thinking, all those elements factor into this. And there's a cognitive overload when you are at a position of presenting. And this year, some of you who've done, say, presentations on Zoom probably realize that actually it's not much easier when you're doing it to a virtual audience because you do not get those visual reassurances. And that in itself can lead to anxiety and stress too. This kind of led Chris to, and the team, to develop PresentPal, essentially an app that you can works on your iPad, works on all smartphones. So whether you have Android or iOS, and it allows you to create these virtual flashcards that align with your slides. And what I thought I'd do now is tell you a couple of basic steps how you get started. So the first one is, okay, so I've got my app. How do I create notes? When you open it up, you click on notes and say, okay, I'm going to create some new notes. I've already got my slides. I just want to create my virtual flashcard notes. So in this case, the person's going to type in, let's type in Chris's dog, Alfie. That's what the slides are about. So we're going to call this Alfie, these notes. So now the first slide, my notes, the first slide is about Alfie. And I'm able now to put in my bullet points. I can put in maybe 3 to 5 bullet points. And in each bullet point, you're not trying to type in your full presentation or your speech. You're essentially just typing in maybe some keywords that keep you aligned or keep your track of thought going. So, or here, for example, put down what type of dog Alfie is, the adoption process. So I know I'm going through these things to talk about in my slide number 1. So really easy to create the notes. Then, obviously, you've created your notes. You want to possibly rehearse them before your presentation. Majority of great presentations are aligned by rehearsing. And a lot of us spend significant time, if we are to deliver a presentation, rehearsing by ourselves. And the idea behind rehearsing is really to improve your own self-confidence. And that's the purpose of this topic today. Why is rehearsing important? Now, rehearsing is very easy in PresentPal. We've made it so that it does all the things you need it to do. So in this case, in the animation you're seeing here, the, the person is rehearsing their notes and they're clicking on that flag on the left-hand side anytime they're not happy with a particular section that they've just gone over. There's a timer that you can see. It allows you to keep track of how much time you're spending on each slide. And it's very easy to follow because it's all your bullet points are linear. So you can anticipate what's coming up next. You're able to see what you're currently on. So it just keeps you on track. And the key thing on rehearsing is you're able to now, when you go back, it's recording everything so you can listen back and self-assess. So I can listen back to all those flagged items that I had and say, okay, how did I sound there? Was I pleased with it? Do I need to improve it? But that self-assessment process is so critical in your process or scaffolding towards improving your self-confidence. And you'll notice also on here, on the right-hand side, there's the time also shown for how much time have I taken on each slide. Now, some people like the clock on, some people like the clock off. It's your preference. If you are concerned about a certain time limit by when I need to present by, it's really useful to have this clock on to just allow you to, in rehearsal mode at least, see, okay, how long am I taking per slide? Very useful. Am I speaking too fast? Am I speaking too slow? Uh, can I put in more information in here, or do I need to take some information out? So really recommend within rehearsal mode to definitely try that part out in terms of when you're listening back to your audio. And I go back to my point now and why rehearsal is important. And rehearsals, the key thing here, why rehearsal is important for a lot of us is really whatever content we're delivering, we we have this confidence about how we're delivering this and what we're delivering on. And the best way to do that is practicing. And rehearsal mode in PresentPal allows you to do that. This self-assessment is very, very key in this aspect because as you're able to self-assess yourself, you're better able to judge your own improvement points at your own pace and time. So this is not someone coming back with critical notes or aspects to you, which may or may not be useful. This is yourself actually judging your own audio, your own delivery, um, and your own structure of your slides too, and your bullet points. Are you covering the things? Are you delivering what you want to deliver? Is your message getting through? And there's some interesting stats that are out there. Like, some people say, okay, look, it's really good if you'll get more confidence if you actually rehearse 10 times. This is a matter of preference. This is all about your own confidence. How long does it take you to feel that confidence? Where do you feel you're able to get to the point when you say, okay, you know what? I am ready to deliver this presentation. I feel I've got everything I need. And in certain situations, if I am, I've got an element of stress and anxiety, brilliant. I've got my virtual flashcard notes. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know which points I want to cover. And that's what it's doing. So I thought it'd be good also to tell you about the different environments you can utilize the tool in. We've talked about presentations, be it face-to-face or in person. Other environments where you can use the app, where it's absolutely brilliant, are, for example, in group discussions. Now, these discussions could be classroom-based, or they could be in a work environment. But let's say I know tomorrow there's a discussion in my classroom or in my work about a certain topic, and I want to build my confidence up on that. Brilliant. I'll use the app, write down the key bullet points I want to cover in that discussion, and what I want to get across, how I want my voice to be heard. Maybe even utilize the rehearsal mode to practice those discussion points. And when it comes to the discussion, you've got your notes. A lot of people would use their notes during the discussion. You're actually going to use your virtual flashcards because it'll actually allow you to go through the bullet points that you want to go through. Interviews is another good one. And this is whereby in the app, you can actually preload anticipated questions. So instead of the bullet points, preload your anticipated questions. And then in rehearsal mode, practice your answers to those bullet points. as you go through and you listen back to it, you can then self-assess and say, okay, how good was my answer to that particular question? What sort of confidence did I display? Is my answer providing enough information? Because particularly for young adults, and I've been speaking to a lot of AT state and occupational therapists, especially in a climate like we're in right now, where they are looking for jobs. Let's say, for example, interviewing becomes so critical, and a lot of interviews are now being done over Zoom, for example. So really, really important that young adults are given the support they need to build their confidence in interviewing. And this tool is ideal to build them for that confidence rather than throwing them in the deep end and saying, okay, here's your interview. Because when you're in the actual environment, it is a very stressful and anxious environment. So we'll go through some questions. This is a great opportunity for you to ask me questions directly. If you're on here, just unmute yourself. You can ask the questions or feel free to type if that's your preference. Thought I'd mention we do have one more session left at Closing the Gap, which is tomorrow at 11 Central Time. It's a live session. This is a half-hour long session. Essentially, it's a great opportunity to see the more information about the app itself and understand it a little bit more and ask me questions directly. We are also giving people the opportunity to get a free trial license off this app. So if you're interested in that, I am just going to put up the link. So bear with me 1 second in the chat box now. And this link will allow you to, bear with me 1 second. If you fill in your details here, we will then be able to issue out your free trial license. So in the chat box now, you will see the link. So please do click on that. I strongly suggest that if you want to play around with this tool, have a look and give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. The other thing we're doing is if you're part of a lending library or K-12 or even higher education, we are from next semester allowing the entire institution to do free pilots with us. So get in touch with us either way, fill in your details, and we can schedule in a specific Zoom call to discuss exactly what you want. And if you just want the free trial, just let us know on that too. Hopefully you found this session useful in terms of answering any questions you may have with regards to the software itself. There is a question that was being asked beforehand, and I thought I'd just go over, which is, how does it work with PowerPoint slides? And essentially, the app itself, we built an integration with PowerPoint. You can actually control the slides using the app. So the integration on PowerPoint is a two-step process. You literally add, there's a tool on the top toolbar on PowerPoint. It says get add in, and you just type in PresentPal and you just automatically add it in. This is brilliant because now as the user, what you don't want to do is worry about your virtual notes and then also worry about, oh, I need to press the laptop or my clicker to change the slide. You can literally scroll and go to the next slide just using the app. So definitely there for PowerPoint. We built the integration for that. For Google Slides, we will have the integration ready probably in about a month or so. And so that's coming up next too. Brilliant. There's about a minute left. So if you do have any questions, it's a great time to ask them now. And I'll put my contact details up here too. So you can reach me via my email too, which you see at the bottom of the slide there.